Hi there, this is Isaac from Turn Sounds. Pianos don't work underwater.
Welcome to Just Keep Walking. This is a podcast focused on the Walking Dead TV show, and today we're talking about Season 11, Episode 10, called New Haunts. I'm your host, Ben. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm joined by...
Liam.
And...
Also Isaac, hello.
Awesome. Cool. So we're pretty much going to drive straight into the episode. But just to let you know, this podcast is made by or produced by Turn Sounds. So if you'd like to get in touch with any questions or suggestions, head to turnsounds.com or email turnsounds@gmail.com.
Also worth noting that Turn Sounds is run by us, you know?
Oh,
locally.
wow. Hey, that's
Who would have thought?
Small world. That's crazy.
No, only because there are some like podcast people that say, oh, we're sponsored by these, or this is through them, but like we created our own network. And that's something I'm proud of, so yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, our thing is called Turn Sounds, and yeah, you know, there you go.
Please reach out to us.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know your thoughts on the episode and everything else. But yeah, let's just dive straight into it. Yeah, who wants to go first?
My first note is maybe right at the start. Do you guys notice when it says AMC presents, and then it transforms into some kind of gibberish writing? Do you guys notice that transition?
I thought it just disintegrated, but I didn't. Oh.
It turns into like, it almost looks like Egyptian hieroglyphs. Like
I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah, I
never picked up on that before.
Each time the AMC thing starts, the whole like beginning trailer, I look for the new differences in each sort of season.
Sure, yeah.
You know, because they do some fun changes. It happens like in a 2 milliseconds or something. Like you have to like.
I don't know.
Each time it looks like snail writing or something like that. Like it's, yeah. But not only that, like play pause. Oh no, I'll freeze frame it. And I'll send it to you.
All right. My thought would be you're reading too much into it, maybe. But hey, you could be right.
I've been right about crazier things.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Sorry, that's the first note, yeah.
You have a look.
It'd be a cool Easter egg if that had been ongoing since the start of the show.
No, I've only noticed it since the show has come back.
Okay. Am I going to try and find it?
It'll get there in a second. So, at least watch it, yeah.
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like, you might be absolutely... I'm crazy, I think.
Nah, fair enough. You could be very right.
Who's it? Scotty G's there, like, he gets it.
Yeah. Maybe Scotty G's planted it all along. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. They do like to hide things, so yeah, there we go. But overall thoughts before we get into notes. Who wants to go first? I can go first if you want, but
actually, yeah, I haven't heard you go first for a while.
Okay. Yeah, basically, like my part of this episode might be fairly brief. I don't know how we're going to fill a whole hour.
I got notes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That helps. Yeah, definitely. Probably my worst fears have been realized.
Oh, no.
And yeah, I don't know. Yeah. If you want to kill any remaining audience members, this is the way to do it, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah. But that's just me. Liam, what did you reckon?
Ditto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely shocking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll be the contrary. I didn't
Great,
like...
that's good.
Okay,
I'm very happy that we've got something else. Yeah.
Obviously, it's taking what you would think would be the natural progressive step in the zombie world, where it's like, we've gotten good enough with walkers or rotters or whatever they call them now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we know how they act and we're good enough to form these teams. You know, we know we wear body armor now. We're creating governments.
That's a step forward, yeah.
You know, that it feels like, boring though it may be to watch,
Mm.
it feels like the natural thing where, we're going to start enacting laws, and we've reintroduced currency and things like allowances and fun fairs and these things. Is it right for the show? I don't know, but it's kind of like you can see it going there if you follow the steps through from scavenging through to civilization.
Yeah, definitely. And that side of it, I definitely don't mind. And that's sort of... I would have enjoyed it more maybe because that's where it was going in season 9, was with Rick and all that. They were deciding, to make laws, and they had a fair and stuff like that. That was sort of the first step. And then to see our group progress to that point maybe, but I'm not finding it all that interesting just being in some other random group. But yeah. No, I do like what you're saying though. That makes sense. Yeah.
Mm. I mean, I thought it was fun too. I'm not such a fan of time skips. I think the only one we had before this one was right before we meet Luke and the group, right?
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest one. There were lots of like small ones, but yeah. Yeah, there's been months before.
Okay.
Yeah. But this was probably the most, like, the biggest change that's happened. Yeah.
Okay. Because, well, I've got a bunch of smaller notes scene by scene, but, like, could you maybe explain, like, why? Like, what's your big fear about all this? Or
Yeah, for sure. I mean, mainly it just comes down to, like, this. It's just not interesting to me. Okay. Like, it seems like everything that is the draw card for the show is like completely lost in this episode, at least. Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting. Yeah, it might just be for a few episodes as a arc potentially. Like, could be interesting. I just can't see where it's going. I don't know. Like, I'm not waiting to see what's going to happen next or where this story thread's going to go. Like, it just, nothing about it's really interesting. It doesn't have the excitement of the zombie apocalypse because they're just in like a normal sort of town, and the characters don't really seem to be getting very interesting stories. So yeah, that's the condensed version of it, I guess. Yeah.
You feel the same way, Liam?
Pretty much. I think you summed it up quite nicely there, Ben. I think all the reasons why I like the show, I suppose you could argue there was one scene in it, and you can probably guess which scene it was. But the majority of this episode was just nothing like what normally draws me into the show. Oh, yes.
Yeah, and when you have to have like the zombie action be like a weird training group activity. And the thing you were saying about armor, like surely if they're actually logical, they would give the trainees armor. Like there's not even any logic to what they're doing unless they're just like trying to go with like a really brutal sort of the strong survive thing, which doesn't seem to make sense with what they're building.
But they've even contradicted themselves with that. When who was it? If someone was in danger, Daryl's partner, and the other dude shot the zombie. Yeah. Like, okay, well, I don't know.
Well, we'll kind of jump around a bit, but my note for that scene is you can't have it both ways. Was my note there, because there seems to be this sentiment that anytime you get tackled by a walker or whatever, that it's like this big struggle. You know, you're both holding each other's shoulders, and anything could happen. But in the same sort of scene, in the same encounter, Rosita's able to snap both the legs on this walker and then tear its own leg off and stab it. Like, you know, bones and muscle are pretty strong, and if you've got the ability to like wrestle with someone and yet be so brittle that someone can just so many like tendons and ligaments in your leg, that's like takes a lot to yank off someone's leg. I don't know, things like that this is where I overanalyze this show. I go come on, like, cool that it is to see someone get stabbed with like a femur or whatever it was, you know.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and with that logic, you could just like grab the person and crush them, like,
or
if their bones are that brittle. I guess that's something, because right from the start, they're making a pretty strong statement saying, like, zombies aren't really scary anymore. Now it's just like an amusement at some fair. And so it's like, oh, okay, if they're making that as a statement to sort of take it somewhere interesting, then I'm on board. And they did that initially when the group arrived at Alexandria, sort of to say, like, the big issue with Alexandria at first is that everyone was so sheltered that they weren't really aware of the danger of the real world. And so that sort of caused an issue, and our group started to become a bit too... like desensitized and stuff. So it was kind of an interesting story thing, but this, I can't really see where they're going with it. And like you said, it's kind of contradicting itself all the time.
Yeah.
So,
well, they also did it at, Woodbury.
Oh, Woodbury. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So entertainment with the zombie.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, but that especially was like very strongly... a story point of saying, hey, you guys shouldn't be enjoying this. Like, and so that, it was, very much addressed as opposed to just kind of like a random thing. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing with like the fair and like the haunted house that they're going through. At first, I thought like, oh, you know, the arms are reaching through the window. If this is real, like they've just made a whole joke of themselves.
Yeah.
Like, complete trope. And then I thought to myself, what if it's just like training for, was it Coco in there or who's that?
I think it was just RJ and
Oh,
Judith.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like bravery training or whatever to show that, you know, you
Yeah.
can be whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't for once believe it was real.
No. Yeah, it was either dream sequence or I thought maybe the episode hadn't even started yet and it was like an ad for the Walking Dead thing at Universal Studios.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Then it made sense.
yeah, terrible.
A couple of notes to fire
Yeah,
off
cool.
just from that. First, we see little piglets in the petting zoo area.
Oh, yeah.
And my mind went back to the prison where we
Oh.
seen pigs
Oh.
before. I was like,
Yeah.
please no.
That's
Don't do it.
heartbreaking.
Yes. Were they little piglets or were they full-grown pigs?
No, they were piglets, I think.
At
Because
the-
the
the
mother
prison.
died
Yeah.
from that, whatever the flu thing was,
Yeah.
I believe.
That was so stupid.
I liked it. I liked the flea.
No, not the flu, just
What?
the lure them away with the pigs, but it didn't really
Oh, okay.
work,
Okay.
did it?
Well, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, we have to lure them away. This is the only way we can do it. It was like, these pigs are infected anyway. We have to get rid of them. They may as well help to take the zombies away from the fence too. So,
Such a cruel way, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really didn't like that.
Moving on. Have we seen Father Gabe in that hat before?
no, either he's lost a lot of weight or the hat's way too big. Eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, new hat.
Massive.
Is it a new hat?
I
though?
think so.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Might
it
not
was-
be. I thought the thing on the side was different.
I thought he
Yeah.
did look different somehow.
He probably has lost a bit of weight too. He's been working out.
Hmm.
Good
Yeah.
on him.
Stylish hat. Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. Fun to see Ezekiel as a zookeeper again,
Yeah.
looking after animals.
Yeah.
I think the cool thing that I like about this Commonwealth is that it's kind of like a tribalism type economy where it's like everyone picks what they're good at and then that's kind of like your vocation. That's how you make your money.
Interesting.
And not only that, I mean, sometimes to the detriment of people like old Dr. Dude, Yumiko's brother.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're good at it, you're going to do it regardless of...
Yeah, I mean, that I would... I get it. So if you've
Sure.
got a doctor, that's pretty selfish not to do it. Like, I don't care if you're stressed or whatever. Like, it's saving lives.
Yeah.
So that I get. But yeah, no, it's interesting.
Besides, he's not even a very good baker. He's dropping cakes everywhere.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But no, fun to see him, like, having fun, smiling, holding rabbits, you know, Ezekiel.
That should be his next Shiva giant rabbit, one of those big ones.
Just the Monty Python rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
Or the were-rabbit in Wallace and Gromit.
Ah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Scary.
Good
That's
one.
scary, man. Yeah. Yep. We have Daryl and Rosita coming down the staircase talking to one another.
Yeah.
And they talk about it's like paper in there and can you sleep? And I was like, what are they talking about?
Oh, okay. So I think later in the episode they're saying like the walls are as thin as paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, she didn't say that. I think in just this line.
Yeah, she didn't say it then, but
No.
piecing it together, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, you figured that out when Daryl goes back in with the food.
Yeah.
You can
It's
just hear the-
ridiculous in there.
Like, what are they doing there? Having a
Yeah,
rave party
like
upstairs or
no
something?
context whatsoever.
I do kind of like that it's almost like the slums, like temporary housing or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still being processed or what the deal is. Or
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, the slum area, and they're the sort of entry level. They haven't quite got their position sorted yet. Yeah.
How do you guys liking? I don't even know what his name is. Easily the most
Oh, the kid,
annoying
yeah.
character.
Oh, man.
Is there a character more annoying than him?
I'm sure there is,
No.
Yeah, I don't know
but
about
I
that.
can't think of specifics now.
What about that one kid that was like bullying Judith at one point? Or
Oh,
Henry?
yeah.
Even he wasn't that annoying.
No.
This kid takes the cake.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, this kid. But I don't know. This kid, like he doesn't annoy me because I just look at him and say, "Oh, he's a scripted movie character." Like he doesn't even seem like a real person. Like there was Ron and stuff before, and who shot Carl and all that. But like he at least seemed like a real person, and you could get angry at him. But like this, it just seems way too over the top for me. Do you guys feel the same?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know how people can be so not self-aware. I don't know what the
Yeah,
term for that
exactly.
is.
Yeah.
Like you clearly be struggling, and then the zombie gets shot. Why did you do that? Because you were gonna die. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you. Same thing with like him and his
Yeah.
girlfriend the other episode. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. You're right. People like that don't seem realistic to me. I've never met someone like that before.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I don't know. I guess it does make sense that, like, if the whole world revolves around you, you've got. There was a shot. I was wondering why they did it, but then I thought about it. It was actually the camera revolving around him, doing a circle. It's like, well, maybe there was like a subtle thing saying how he thinks the world revolves around him. Yeah, I guess then if anything goes slightly wrong, makes you slightly upset emotionally, you just burst out and want to blame it on something, no matter how little logic there is. Like, I get how psychologically that could be a thing.
Also, just so much self-importance. Like, I'm doing special military training or whatever. Whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Top
I don't
training.
know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was really, really hoping Daryl would punch him.
Yeah.
You don't need that. I mean,
He probably doesn't. I do. I need that.
We all do.
What was the guy's name Daryl was partnered up with in the activity?
I don't even remember, actually.
I don't know, Pete or whatever. But like, that was the one moment I liked when he reaches his hand out. It's like, "Hi, I'm Pete." "Hey, Pete." Just slaps him on the back. Like, that seems like a Daryl thing to do. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I said to you, Ben,
Yeah.
after the episode ended that, you know, how much more of this is there? Like, and you reckon there's a lot more?
Yeah. So
14 episodes.
Yeah, 14. Thanks. Quick maths.
Yeah. Because I honestly, like, I would be in a lot more despair if this was like, you know, only 5 or so more episodes to go.
Absolutely.
It just seemed like such a waste. But
Yeah.
maybe this is the necessary setup. We were already getting hint of like some kind of rebellion against the Commonwealth happening.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in it at all. At all.
Yeah. And at the end, it's like the music and stuff is like or more so the acting or just the way the scene is set up overall is like it's supposed to be this like scary revelation, and we're supposed to be with Rosita feeling like terrified, seeing all these signs, resist the Commonwealth. Like, what?
Who cares?
Why should we care about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Brings me to a note about a trope that I just cannot get behind. This idea that you've got a half of a face mask on, you know, like respiratory breathing, some kind of like a heavy helmet on, but you've got like the perfect cutout around her eyes, Rosita. So she's got perfect vision, you know, nothing obscuring it. But she sees all this stuff that shocks her, so she has to take it all off. And wow, now I can see.
Even though there could be someone like behind her in the room, she hasn't even properly checked behind the door to like clear the room. Yeah.
Never thought of that. Wow. Yeah.
So like, because we have to see her stunned expression, like that's for us, you know. But
I'll pay it as just a movie thing, and it's like how in sci-fi movies they always have lights inside their helmets so you can see the face, even though it doesn't really make much sense logically.
Does it make sense for if me and you are in astronaut suits and I need to look at you and talk to you, that I can see your face and see that you're receptive?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. What other
tell.
nice do we go? I coming back to what you were saying, just overall, like, definitely, I might just like have to adjust to it and like get in the rhythm of it, just to say, all right, let's just enjoy these episodes and see where it goes, make the best of it. But yeah, definitely, like my thought at the moment is just let's just get through these. Hopefully it's only like for these 8 episodes, and then we can move on to a really good ending for the last 8. That's pretty much where I'm at the moment. Like, let's just get through it and get it over and done with. But I definitely want to try and enjoy it.
I like that mindset, but I feel like it fits more with the extra episodes we got at the end. Was it the last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sort of fits with that going, oh yeah, we've got extra episodes, COVID's done all this, that and the other, so it's not going to be groundbreaking, but we'll accept it for what it is. But this, they've deliberately gone, hey, let's tell a story over 3 blocks rather than the usual 2 blocks. It doesn't fit here, in my opinion. The whole, I enjoy it for what it is. No. If the story's going to suck because you've dragged it out, then you shouldn't have done it.
And a philosophical question with regards to source material. I'm interested in your guys' thoughts, because the Commonwealth is in the comics, and that's like the last big stretch of the comic books. I haven't really heard anyone have anything positive to say about that arc. Most people I've heard, they just say it was boring in the comics. They didn't really like it. So I get you want to stay true to the comics, at least in the rough outline of it, and you want to, honor the guy who created the story and all that. But does there come a point where if just no one likes a certain arc, you should just go in a different direction for the TV show? What do you guys think about that?
Potentially. I mean, you're trying to tell a story first, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a good storyteller, you should, I guess, listen or watch how it's received, but then also stick to your story, I believe.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if your arc is rubbish, then finish it. Don't leave it open-ended. But also don't be afraid to... this sounds terrible, but you have to be ready to kill your baby sometimes, like...
Yeah, definitely.
Which I'm a little afraid that this whole Commonwealth thing might turn into. Princess, like, for me, seeing Princess, she's a gorgeous individual as far as, like, every time she's on screen, you can tell that she really wants to be there. And, and that's really fun. But, like, Princess, for me, is the lady in the pink fluffy jacket who, has a gun over her shoulder at all times. Like, she's not wearing an actual tiara, going to fancy parties. Like, I don't know. So I feel like mostly this episode for me, and again, there's been a lot of time jumps, but like, the characters are changing. Some for the better, some I think.
I didn't mind that princess thing. I feel like she's still the same character, and she's just like, oh, there's a tiara, I might as well wear that. Like, I call myself princess. Like, that didn't seem too out of character for me, but I get what you're saying though. What about other character changes? Because they're obviously all in kind of different places here.
Father Gabe's hat, yeah.
Yeah, Father Gabe's hat. Magna's exactly the same.
Yep. She's shifty to me. I bet you she's 100% like founder of the revolution.
Oh, 100%, no question there. But like, that's just Magna. Like, what do you expect at this point? Like, she's always complaining about something, rebelling against something. Because she even stole like food from Hilltop and was stashing it out of the woods and stuff. So
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that would definitely make a lot of sense.
I did have a general note toward just like the Commonwealth in general.
Yeah.
As far as like, so you're within city walls. Clearly Carol's found some way out, but whatever. It's safe for the most part. I understand a sentry here or there, someone patrolling the walls, maybe someone in the top official's office or something.
Yeah.
But you look at the fair in the opening, and you can, in one shot, see like 4 or 5 troopers all standing around, holding guns, like aiming like downward, resting, but heavily armed at all times within the inside. It feels very military controlled. It doesn't feel like a safe place where you can walk around and do your thing,
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're driving along and all of a sudden there's a police car behind you. You straighten up and you make sure you're doing the speed limit at all times. It's like it gives you no freedom to just sneeze and accidentally bump into somebody without it being like a.
Does that happen a lot?
Some people might sneeze violently.
Yeah.
Or trip and fall into someone. It's like, you started a fight. Off you go to lose your. I don't know.
And that's definitely seems to be an intentional story thing. Hey, here. Or not so much. What do you reckon?
I mean, yeah, and that's probably what's building up this resistance against the authority. But
Although, from a logical standpoint, what do you reckon? If you're still in a zombie apocalypse, like someone could just kind of fake their way in, and they're still planning to like rob the community and take all your stuff. So like, it would make sense to me to constantly have security around.
But if you're heavily vetting everybody who comes into your community, like look at the grueling process and the highly invasive ways that they did it. Clearly, anyone who makes it in is not going to be bitten already. You know, they're counting their bowel movements each day and stuff like that. So I reckon, well, they should be able to have like an open carry or something, like be able to carry their knives and their whatever weapons they want. You know, if you're unruly, you'll get them taken away, sure, but I don't think there needs to be a heavy military presence there.
Yeah. But I guess there's also the sense that well, maybe not from the end of this episode where the leader doesn't even seem to be aware that people are rebelling, but like, I feel like they would have an idea in the back of their head that, not everyone's going to like the way we run things, so we better keep pretty strict security to keep people in line and pretend there's peace. So that'll be interesting. See where it goes.
Will that be interesting? Sorry.
Do you not have hope, Liam?
At this stage, honestly, not.
Really?
Yeah. This whole Commonwealth thing is, I'm not looking forward to it.
So for this, just like maybe we'll look back in the future and it'll all make sense in a bigger story arc. But at the moment, like we had that rat episode in the bonus ones where Carol's chasing the rat around the garage.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
That terrible one. And that was easily like one of, if not the worst episode of the whole show. But at least that you just go, it's just a bonus episode, like whatever. You can just move on and forget about it. But this for me almost feels worse because it's like, we're going to have to like go through this for a lot. And
exactly.
I don't know. If it was just one boring episode, whatever, that's fine. But like, because they're committing to this storyline, and you just know that you're going to have to sit through it for at least probably 8 more episodes.
Oh gosh.
It just doesn't excite me at all, unfortunately. But I'll be optimistic enough to at least, keep giving it a go and try to enjoy it.
My final note was just the interaction that Carol has with Ezekiel at the end. They're drinking wine. They seem to be friendly, And I like the line that Ezekiel says where he's still finding reasons to smile.
Yeah.
Yet I smile.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's always been him, through it all. He's just, and yet I smile. So it's,
Yeah. And I do hope those two get back together to some extent. Well, I mean, in this casual sense, I guess is fine. Like they're still friends and all that. So, but I thought that was quite a good pairing because Carol definitely needs someone like that to balance her out, and then same the other way around. So, I like it. But do you have any theories about Maggie and Lydia? Because they say, have you heard from them recently? Ezekiel asked Carol that. This is 1 month in, and in the last episode we got this tease that 6 months in you're going to have Maggie at Alexandria.
Was it Alexandria?
I think so, at least.
I thought it was Hilltop.
I don't know. I'm sticking with Alexandria, but I could be wrong.
I have to...
Yeah. Let's go back. I'll pull it up now. I mean, my guess now that I've said it out loud is that they're just back at Alexandria helping to rebuild the walls, and everyone's kind of staying at the Commonwealth while the walls get rebuilt. Any other theories as to what could be going on?
Maybe Lydia's out searching for Negan?
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, that's, I think, what I'm going to miss most of all is like...
ding, ding.
Wherever Negan's going to be, I just... Yeah, I think, moving away from those sorts of things that make this show so cool.
No, you're right, Liam. It is Hilltop in the last episode. No way. I seriously thought it was Alexandria.
Could it be Woodbury?
Yes.
2.0.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
there you go. I didn't know that.
True, Woodbury's not a place; it's a people.
Yeah, hey.
It's
Yeah.
wherever
Can't
they
have
go.
Woodbury without the governor.
All right. Well, pop question.
Yeah.
Has anyone who was in Woodbury survived? Because it was Michonne, it was
Andrea.
Andrea,
She did.
Governor, Rick.
Well, yeah, Daryl, like,
Oh yeah.
invaded and got kidnapped.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, he knows where it is.
Woodbury lives on
Hey,
the
let me
Dell.
take you back to this place I once visited. Yeah, that could work.
Nice.
Imagine if that's how they wrap it up.
Yeah.
Turn to Woodbury.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's the final stretch. It's just the road trip back to Woodbury. And, yeah.
I'd watch that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do have. I mean,
Cool.
that's pretty much it for the episode.
Yeah.
That punk kid, he's going to get what's coming to him.
Yeah.
The fact that he takes credit for the arrest and then right before walking out, like straightens up his hair and then
I thought he did the opposite. I thought
Yeah,
he messed
so
up
did
his
I.
hair to make
Yeah.
it look like he struggled to
Ah.
catch the guy.
either way,
Either
it's
way.
it's
for
such a,
sure. Yeah.
what a sucky thing to do.
Yeah.
Tightens the grip on the guy and like shoves him violently into the room and then his mum probably knows it wasn't him but still says good job to him or whatever.
Yeah.
He's going to get what's coming to him. Whatever it is, it's too good for him. I'm just putting it out there. Much though I don't, it's not a very believable character like you say, Ben. I'm going to enjoy watching him have the. Oh
That is comeuppance.
no, I know who's the second most annoying character. Do you remember that dude who shot Henry's older brother with the long hair?
Yeah. Jared? Was that
Oh,
his name?
yeah.
Yeah.
What was Henry's older brother?
Benjamin.
Benjamin. The dude who shot Benjamin with his like.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah, he's
curls
maybe
your
worse.
hands
Yeah.
into fists.
His death was not satisfying enough.
What are you talking about? He got ripped apart with his, on the fence line.
Yeah, it didn't. Wasn't enough.
Ah.
Yeah, maybe it's because where Morgan was at. Morgan wasn't in like a place to get the most out of it or whatever. He's
Yeah,
just like
maybe.
freaking out. Yeah.
For any, I mean, this is not a very Christian thing to do. Any moment where there is the realization before death in a bad guy or someone that
Yeah.
we really don't like, because it's
Yeah.
so easy for them to just take a bullet to the head or whatever, and then you're like they're dead, and that's why it's not satisfying for us.
Yeah.
But the moment with long-haired Jared guy where he realizes like he's done for, that's the golden moment where you look at him in the eye and you're like, that's
right.
everything I needed. And now you can go. Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Charles Muntz at the end of Up when he realizes his feet are tied to balloons.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Nice, wholesome way to bring it back. Any other notes that you've got?
I have one that's not in no way related to this. It's more
That's
of a
all
quiz
right.
question.
Yeah,
I've been
sure.
trying to stump Ben for absolutely forever.
Yeah, you might be able to. I'm not as fresh as I once was.
Oh.
I don't actually know the answer to this. I've been looking for it all over the internet, and I tried to find it in a synopsis. The only way to know is to go back and watch it, it seems.
Okay.
Episode 2, I believe. The name of that one is called
What, of the whole show?
Yep.
Is it, Guts?
Guts. Yep. In
Amazing.
this is where that's not it. This is where Rick and Glenn cover themselves in guts for the very first time, and they stand around the body of an individual where they carve him up, and then Rick says, "I'm
His
gonna
name.
remember."
Oh, I don't know his name.
Oh.
No.
Got him.
Hazard a guess?
Ah.
I've got Steven in my head for some reason, but I don't think that's it.
I don't know. Any guesses? Mark?
Yeah, I feel like the letter M.
Matthew?
His name was Michael or something.
Yeah. We'll look it up.
Alrighty then. I'll take
Nicely
that as a
done.
win.
Yeah.
Ding ding.
Yeah, good job. Actually, that's probably good. Because we've finished in like half the time we usually do. Do you want to do previously on The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Who was the last one though? Who, like in the most recent episode?
Did
Wait,
they do
what?
it? I don't
Yeah,
even know if they
previously
did it.
on.
Oh, the voice who did it. I don't know.
Oh well.
Have they
Oh,
done
it was Ezekiel this episode.
Ah.
Good luck, Liam.
Oh, no. How do you even copy Ezekiel's voice?
Oh look, you've got the original voice. Just do the original, I reckon.
Previously on AMC's The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Nice enough.
Another thing as well, that
Yeah.
one guy who was acting, pretending to be a walker.
Yeah.
Great job, to the point where I think Daryl was like, all right, now that's probably
Come on,
enough,
dude.
like
Yeah.
just before I actually stab you.
Yeah.
I thought that was also going to set the precedent for the training room. I thought they were all going to be fake walkers.
Yeah,
and they had, like,
exactly.
spring-loaded
Yeah, same here.
knives or something like that.
Yeah.
Because the one guy that charges out, he charges out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that just made the whole training thing even more weird.
yeah.
It's no one was taking it seriously, really, except for the people in it, I guess. So it's like, oh, are we supposed to care about this or not?
And the walkers inside were just laying dormant the whole time. All the noise was happening outside. Like they were
Yeah.
chatting and yeah, strange.
Very strange.
Weird.
Cool visuals. The episode had cool visuals. I think there was one shot of Carol digging through the trash, just a cool perspective trick like that. It was nice.
Definitely. Yeah, if there's I've sort of been thinking overall about the show because kind of in a way it's it's a shame to see it get to this point where they have to settle for really bad ideas. But at the same time, it's great to have gotten to the point where we can see it with such nice visuals and shot this well, and really everyone working on it is sort of at the top of their game, maybe except for the writers. It really looks and sounds top notch. So yeah.
Just finally, because I'm just remembering.
Yeah, sure.
That one walker that knocks over all the wine things, and you're just like,
Yeah.
no.
That was one of the other things this episode that I was just this is are they going through all the worst of Walking Dead tropes, like ninja zombies? It's literally in this little basement. They couldn't possibly sneak in. And then there's just 3 of them instantly out of nowhere that no one heard coming. In the middle of the forest, it's silly because you would have heard them walking up, but at least that's slightly excusable, not in a really silent basement. Yeah. So I don't know.
There are parts of me that kind of wish that the law, if you will, was set up differently, where you could have walkers almost sleeper walkers, like the one that bit Herschel's leg, or the ones in the church that are just sitting in the pews.
Yeah.
I like the idea of walkers where it's you're not sure if they're dead or not, and then all of a sudden they could animate.
They brought it back at the start of this season when they're heisting the army supplies, and they're all just sleeping on the ground until they make a noise and wake them up.
Yeah, true.
So it's there. It's not necessarily done consistently, but yeah, it is a cool idea. That's maybe a good conversation. If the show got rebooted, and you could now have the hindsight and say, okay, let's make some consistent rules from the start that's going to follow through the whole series and make sense. What sort of things would you guys set up? And I'm putting everyone on the spot here, including myself.
No running walkers.
Yeah.
Because they're walkers.
I guess the big thing is it really comes into question now with the whispers and all that. That what is it that really triggers them? Is it just smell? Because the whispers aren't even whispering half the time. They're talking, and the walkers don't care. So, yeah.
Just on that note, quickly, I feel like the direction they initially started with the Whisperers was so much cooler.
How so?
They were almost
they were actually whispering.
But it was also
Yeah.
they were trying to sound like the Walkers as well, which I thought
Yeah.
was really cool. But I think they may have changed that because a lot of people were like, oh wait, were they speaking?
People didn't even know if they were talking. Yeah.
No, that was 100% the Whisperers.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's change it then. But I think that's a lot more. So if we're talking about lore, I would say that should be the standard. If you were going to talk amongst the zombies, you'd have to actually sound like them.
Yeah.
So not just whispering. If they make the then you'd have to go, where are? You'd have to mimic them.
Yeah. Or at least you have to like actually whisper, and there's a certain level of noise that
Yeah.
sort of gets drowned out. Yeah. But things like that, and that's still going at the moment, like with the Reapers. At the very start of the season, it sets, or it was in the bonus episodes or whatever, it sets up with the Reapers like, oh, well, we only know like 2 things about them. They only come at night, and you never see them coming. And we see they're always wearing masks and stuff. And then like the second after they're actually introduced properly, they never wear their masks. They're just like walking around in the daylight. And like, yeah, it's like every rule that was set up about them just gets broken instantly. So, yeah.
Is it just me, or does it seem like this whole season so far is quite poorly written?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably a good thing I'm not writing for the show, because like honestly, where I probably would have taken it, and this is kind of like riffing off something that Eugene said a while back ago, where he says, given the complexity of the, whatever, when we first meet the Whisperers, and he's like, it's not entirely unreasonable that they would talk. Like, look, they're dead and they're moving already. Like, that makes no sense. So
You would make that an actual thing?
I would make that a thing where it's like you die, your brain with this virus or whatever the thing is, your body case or whatever, like completely decomposes, but your brain actually stays kind of healthy and active, like it doesn't go rotting. But then like the whole aggression side of it turns up, and like that's where the zombie hunger mindless thing comes from. But it's kind of like you did die, but then your brain reanimates in the way that we've seen. But then over these seasons, they somehow get smarter and smarter to the point where they can start to talk to one another. And then you start to see like a mega boss of the, King Zombie appear or whatever, that can control all the hordes, or, that they follow. Or
Yeah. I mean, not quite to that extent, but that, at least to have them potentially talk at some point, was part of the idea that Frank Darabont had early on, which is why they were a lot smarter. They were using rocks and climbing over fences and stuff. So, but he got fired sort of halfway through season 2. So then they sort of didn't follow through on that. But yeah, I think part of that, not to have like actual zombies talking to each other and armies and stuff, but like part of that, it could have been part of the initial idea. So
because they have a similar thing in that movie, Warm Bodies. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
Yeah. I'm just remembering that now.
By the way, this guy who got arrested reminds me of that actor from Warm Bodies, Nicholas Hoult. He's in Mad Max as well. Yeah, for some reason.
True. Yeah.
But who reminds you of him?
The guy who got arrested,
Yeah.
Busboy. Yeah.
What did you say?
Isn't he like a busboy bussing tables?
Oh, yeah.
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 I don't know. I think that's a cool idea. I don't like to see them get civilized, the show, as far as like, even though it is a natural progression, like I mentioned, I think it's just a boring progression.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
People like Daryl, are you ever going to see him, sitting at a high tea or the best he can do is be a bouncer at a club, or at an event.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but no, exactly what you said. Like, it makes sense within the show, but it's just not all that interesting to watch. Where was I going with that? Somewhere else. Yeah. Oh, it'll come back to me. I was going to take it in a different direction, but yeah.
Which I could link my previously from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's basically just let's just talk about anything from the show.
Do you remember, and Ben will remember, and I think I've spoken about this before, you've got Daryl and Rick walking along. They see the sign saying, look, if you're reading this and you're not already dead, just take my stuff. He's got this boat in the middle of a pond or whatever. What episode's that, Ben? What season?
Season 7, episode 9, I think.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's episode 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Lock it in.
All right. I really like the idea of stumbling upon just like a mega stash of something that people have, collected. And particularly what I liked in season 7, you said, hey?
Yeah.
And just all the previous seasons, this idea that we need to keep moving, we need to keep going further and further to collect supplies.
Right.
And the idea of stumbling upon... This is right before we meet Jesus, isn't it, as well? I think it is.
No, it's after that. It's because, it's a similar sort of area, but this is while the saviors, like after they've met the saviors and everything, and they're desperate to find supplies, so that's why they risk it and go past all the signs, because like they need to give Negan something. So
Right. Nah, but again, looting, scavenging, I think that's what the show's always been about for me, and that's so far removed from what the show is at the moment that
I don't mind that changing, and they already like that's why season 9 was quite interesting, because then they sort of had started to run out of places to loot, so they're really having to grow crops properly and focus on creating a sustainable food source rather than just finding stuff. And then even at the start of this season, that was then the issue, because everything got burnt down. Now we've got to try and find things, but there's nothing left. So, yeah. But 100%, looting and all that. I watched the other day Finch on Apple TV with Tom Hanks. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's pretty new, but that's I'd definitely recommend that. And it's got a lot of similarities. I didn't realize this till the person I was watching with pointed out to I Am Legend. Where he's going through all the buildings and ticking off all the different places, scavenging. And it starts off, this movie's more of a family movie, but it starts off like, this could be actually really scary. You don't know which direction it's going to go. So.
But it is post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic. No zombies, it's just like the sun... there's been a sun flare or something like that, so you can't go out into the daylight without getting burnt. But it's pretty good. Apocalyptic, got all that.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, yeah, that's mine. I liked it.
Cool. Yeah.
I forget what the sign exactly said about, like, if you're reading this and you're not already dead, like, have fun, jackasses, or something like that, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Some sassy, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other topics, Liam?
Whoa. We could do like a Walker of the Week.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer, though, what my first choice is going to be. Old mate getting stabbed through the eye by his own leg today.
Yeah.
Oh. That was gnarly.
I'm not a fan.
No. You'll know my yuck moment. That wasn't one. That was just, right. Lingering and like going further in and the face mushing. And,
You know what I got to say about that, though? It actually disappointed me, because I felt like they did that just because the rest of the episode was going to be dull.
No. Oh, 100%.
And I could tell that when I was watching it. I'm like, this is so gory and graphic because the rest of this episode is going to suck. And I'm very disappointed by that.
Yeah, they just have to tick the box. Oh, we got to have a cool zombie kill.
Yeah.
They are being pretty creative these days, I will say. Like,
with how they're doing the kills, you mean?
That is one of the fun things to come from, like, all zombie franchises. Like, thinking about, what's that one with, come on.
Movie or TV?
Movie. Jeez. Tallahassee, the dude.
Zombieland.
Zombieland, thank you. That whole idea of, like, the best zombie kill out there is, drop a piano on one or whatever. But, like, you've got them degloving the hands, trying to pull one off, and that's disgusting. And, take a leg to the eye.
Yeah. I mean, there's a certain... this is what sort of Walking Dead, at least at the start, got away from, which made it really nice, is they weren't doing too much of just the gimmicks. Like before 2010, when the first season of Walking Dead started, that was pretty much the picture most people had of the zombie genre was just heavy metal rock music and stupid gory ways to kill zombies, which is kind of fun. But then Walking Dead actually took it seriously and thought, let's do it properly, or just tell it like a serious story. I definitely agree that it's still fun to have some creative kills and stuff like that, and that's just part of the fun of the genre. But I guess as long as it doesn't feel like maybe what it's starting to now of just like, I've got to tick the box, do a different one every week, and kind of predictable, I guess. But that being said, it doesn't take away from the how great the makeup is and how well it's all
absolutely.
made. So yeah.
How much time do we have here?
50 minutes.
Do you mind if I
So
bring
10 minutes left.
Yeah.
15 minutes to go.
Oh boy. I was thinking this to myself just this very morning, actually, about films and TV series have been made now for like a good, just almost 100 years, right? Like, and then even before that, storytelling in general. So like, nothing new under the sun as far as like, what are there, like 8 different types of stories or something like that? I don't know what it is. But it's kind of getting to the point where every single new character that comes along, be it like your archetypal bad guy or like some character that we're supposed to think they're going to do this, but it's very clear to us, no, they're clearly going to do that. Or, you know, the classic one I think of is your buddy cop movie where you have one that says, no, this is ridiculous, I'm not going to do that. See you later, they march away. And then in the time of need, who shows up? They had a change of heart and they've come back, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of, it's an obvious thing to happen. Now, relating this to this show, it's kind of like, I wonder, as far as new things to write and character choices to be had, there's not really much that can surprise us or wow us these days, is there? It's kind of the heavy curse that it has, just stories in general.
Especially because they've now got the spin-off shows as well, and now it's like, oh, well, we can't do anything that's already been done in this show or in Fear or the other shows. Interesting. Obviously, like you said, nothing new under the sun, but you can still find an interesting way to do it, I guess.
Well, I mean, because even take this bratty kid, right? From, there's like one of two ways that it'll go. He either like gets, you know, so embarrassed by whatever situation that he runs away, never to be seen again by us, you know, or he just dies a grisly death, you know.
Yeah.
I very much doubt, very much
change
doubt
of heart.
that he's going to have a change of heart.
Yeah.
Like that just doesn't seem.
Yeah, good point.
And if he does, I refuse to like him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, full spoiler alert for the comics here. You have a chance to leave if you'd like to, if you're listening. I think in the comics he kills Rick or something like that. Or it's like something pretty bad, or at least shoots him, and that leads to him dying.
It'd be by accident or something stupid, wouldn't it?
I don't think so. I think it's from what I understand. I haven't read it, but like I've heard people talking about it, and that it was the leader's son or whatever. Killed Rick.
Jeez.
I mean that. Yeah, I guess that there's probably a likelihood that he's going to kill someone important, but like
himself.
Where do you go? Still from there. It's going to end with either him dying for that, or I did like, actually, and we covered this in the Lost in Space podcast, that Dr. Smith just ended up going to prison. It's like that's something nice, different. They don't have to die or this big dramatic thing. It's like, they're a criminal, they go to prison.
Yeah.
So that could be something different.
Yeah.
I don't know if they go down that road though, given that they tried that with Negan, and I know it fits with the. Did they do that in the comics actually? Surely they would
put Negan in the prison. Yeah.
I feel like they wouldn't do that twice.
But like here, prison is more actual prison.
I get
it more
that.
Controlled.
But I could be mistaken. I just don't see him going down that road again. Going, no, we've already done the whole prisoner thing. Let's. This guy's just gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Final note. Seeing Judith in a dress and being like a girl again and getting to have friends and stuff. Getting to have some kind of a childhood.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Definitely.
nice. Although I thought she had ulterior motives at one stage. Yeah. She's like, can I have the receipt? Like, what are you up to?
I reckon that's going to come back. Yeah. That has to. Because if she... Nah.
What do you reckon?
Well, like she said, to remember a good day. It's like, well, you've got the record. Isn't that enough? Like, that's a pretty good reminder.
Like, that's very shifty.
Yeah.
I didn't see it that way. Interesting.
My bet is it'll come back somehow. I don't know if it's shifty or whatever, but like there'll be
She'll
something.
get a refund.
Something to it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I guess she could prove that she was at the fair that day because she had the receipt from the thing she bought. I don't know. That'd be silly. If there's at all a court case in this show, I'm leaving.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The only thing really, at least to me, that makes a lot of sense about having the Commonwealth arc in the show is just budget, because like you don't have to dress up the sets at all. You can just shoot in a normal location, a normal building. You just set up the camera and go. Like, well, obviously you have to have some props, and that's not to discredit the props department, but it's a lot easier than dressing up a whole post-apocalyptic environment. So, yeah,
Very true.
there we go.
I'm still interested to see what comes next. I enjoy watching this with you fellas anyway,
Yeah.
and it's a fun thing we got going. But
Absolutely.
obviously, it'd be way better, I think, when they're out there.
Yeah,
Agreed.
definitely. But at least we can go through it together for good, for better or for worse.
Misery loves company, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. I've still got some optimism for the last chunk of the season. Oh yeah, a little bit of real life news regarding the shows. Because obviously they're sort of, I think like this week or next week they're filming the final episode.
Ooh.
So they're getting right towards the end. So a lot of the houses in the Alexandria, like where they film it, a lot of the houses are going up for sale for I think $700,000 US or something like that. So pretty pricey. But that could be cool if someone was rich and wanted to live there.
Yeah.
And also, now this doesn't mean anything really as far as what we're going to see in the show, but Andrew Lincoln's been hanging around Sonoya, and regardless of whether or not he's in it, like I would be surprised if he didn't come and visit when they were filming the final episode. So it doesn't really mean anything so much, but it's
It could.
yeah, at least
It could.
yeah, that's a slight bit of hope.
To have, I mean, these darn Rick movies.
Yeah.
So to spark some interest and remind everybody, you know, all you need in the last, or maybe the final act. I was gonna say maybe not the last 5 minutes, but the final act of the thing. I don't know. I got nothing to, but like
Because there's Michonne as well.
Yeah.
Rick and Michonne.
Rick, what have you been doing? Stuff and things. You know.
Imagine if Rick, Michonne, and Negan all like come back together and they've somehow crossed paths out in the world, and now they're all best friends.
That'd actually be pretty cool. Don't know about the whole best friends thing, but that'd be pretty cool.
Oh man, complete wasted opportunity as well for Negan to still be around and to be at that fair with the pigs. And little pig, little pig.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So, final thought for me, at least, and if you guys have any more, we've been saying final thought for half an hour, but is that I could see, even though I don't want the Commonwealth to last till the end of the show, I could see it making logical sense for that to be kind of a happy ending, is if our characters sort of take over the leadership of the Commonwealth and then they have a safe place to be, and Daryl and Carol then go off on the road into their spin-off because they don't really fit in that kind of world. I could see the show ending that way, and maybe it would be better, like when it's not all this political stuff, when it can just be our characters sort of running it. So I can see the logic of that being the end of the show, but yeah, I'd still like to have anything else.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Kind of, for me, I don't know if the showrunners are actually ever going to leave it alone. I think they might leave it and it will lay dormant for the next sort of maybe 10, even maybe not that long, 5 to 10 years, say. And then all of a sudden, so-and-so's back with their own thing. You know, the adventure continues with whatever.
Father Gabriel.
Sure, yeah. Or like
Yeah.
Rosita as well. She's
Yeah,
becoming a
100%.
fast favorite of mine as far as like the surviving members of the group go.
Definitely.
But no, I'd much rather it just was a hopeful ending, you know? The characters who matter all linking arms, you know, staring at the sunset over, like, you know, look at us, we made it together, we're going to start a thing, and then that's it. You know, anything's possible.
I've actually got a pitch now that, as we've been saying this, I would be much happier with, is if, again, in Lost in Space Season 3, minor kind of spoilers if you haven't seen it and you care, is that halfway through Season 3, everyone else gets safely to Alpha Centauri, but it's just like our core characters and they go off on a little adventure because they're lost and they have to find their way back. If you could sort of... It might disappoint some fans if you know, Princess or whatever is your favourite character, but let's say the Commonwealth is safe, even if in, you know, 5 episodes from now, they can sort of leave everyone there, and then you just have Daryl, Carol, like, you know, pick 5 or 10 of the best characters, and then just have them go back and do whatever they need to do, fix Alexandria, any sort of more interesting adventure. And then it can be a optimistic, happy ending. All our characters are safe at the Commonwealth, but it doesn't have to be that we spend the whole season there. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind that.
Well,
that'd be nice.
Not 2 episodes in, but, you know, 2 newer episodes into the second block, and it's already all about, like, resist and all of that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Are you happy to end it there? Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for listening. This has been a roller coaster. Definitely one that's probably sparked some thoughts. So, yeah, definitely you can reach out to us on Instagram, Just Keep Walking Podcast, Facebook, Turn Sounds, or turnsounds@gmail.com. And, yeah, we're definitely keen to hear your thoughts. So, yeah, keep in touch. And thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week.
Yeah.
See you then.
Adios.
Yeah.
You've
Sign
been
off.
Ben.
Yeah, I'm Ben.
I'm still Isaac.
Always Liam.